Football dominance is often misunderstood. It is usually framed as speed, or power, or goals scored in isolation. But true dominance begins earlier than that. Earlier than the shot, earlier than the run, earlier than the moment the camera finds the striker in the box. True dominance begins before the ball arrives. Erling Haaland is not dominant because he scores goals. He scores goals because he dominates time, space, and decision-making long before the ball reaches him. This is not a highlight reel. This is not a celebration of numbers without meaning. This is an examination of inevitability. How Erling Haaland forces defenders into errors they have not yet realized they are making. How he bends defensive structures without touching the ball. How pressure does not disrupt him, it sharpens him. And why, in modern football, he represents a type of control that cannot be coached out of the game. There is a persistent misunderstanding surrounding Erling Haaland. That his game is simple. That he is merely the final piece of an already functioning system. That he benefits more from Manchester City than Manchester City benefits from him. This narrative survives because Haaland does not play like traditional superstars. He does not dribble endlessly. He does not demand constant touches. He does not orchestrate play from deep positions. But simplicity in execution does not mean simplicity in influence. In fact, the most dangerous players in football history have often been the ones whose presence reshaped the game without visible intervention. Haaland's influence is structural. He alters defensive line height, center back spacing, midfield risk tolerance, fullback positioning, pressing triggers, all before he receives a single pass. This is where inevitability begins. Most attackers respond to pressure. Haaland creates it. The moment Haaland steps onto the pitch, the opposing defensive unit begins adjusting. Not consciously at first, instinctively. Center backs drop half a step deeper. Fullbacks hesitate to invert. Holding midfielders delay forward presses. Why? Because Haaland threatens space without occupying it. He does not need to be on the shoulder of the defender to control them. He needs only to exist within reachable distance. This forces defenders into a permanent state of anticipation, a mental tax that compounds over 90 minutes. Pressure accumulates not from tackles, but from uncertainty. Haaland's physical profile is often reduced to size and speed, but the critical detail is acceleration timing, not raw pace. Haaland does not sprint early. He sprints late. This matters. By delaying his explosive movement, he prevents defenders from setting their feet, forces reaction rather than anticipation, neutralizes offside traps. Defenders rely on pattern recognition. Haaland disrupts patterns by refusing to conform to them. His runs are not constant. They are selective, and that selectivity creates inevitability. Because when he moves, it is already too late. Pressure reveals truth. In elite football, the penalty box is not a physical space. It is a psychological one. The margin for error collapses. Time compresses. Decisions must be final. Haaland thrives here not because he is fearless, but because he is decisive. There is no hesitation in his movement, no unnecessary adjustment, no second-guessing. This is not instinct alone. It is repetition under stress. Haaland's finishing profile shows minimal touch correction, early commitment to strike zones, high conversion from high-pressure chances. This suggests something deeper than talent. It suggests cognitive efficiency. He does not process options. He selects outcomes. Another recurring criticism is that Haaland requires elite service to function. This misunderstands his role. Haaland does not rely on service. He dictates it. By positioning himself between center backs, he narrows passing lanes behind him. By threatening vertical runs, he opens horizontal options for midfielders. By occupying multiple defenders, he frees secondary runners. Even when he does not receive the ball, he shapes the attack. Manchester City's chance creation patterns shifted after his arrival, not because they changed philosophy, but because space restructured itself around him. This is not dependence. This is gravitational pull. Every elite striker faces adaptation. Defenders study tendencies. Analysts compile data. Coaches adjust schemes. Haaland remains productive because his core advantage is non-replicable. You can coach positioning. You can coach pressing. You cannot coach his acceleration profile, his reach combined with timing, his stride efficiency under contact. Most importantly, you cannot coach defenders out of fear. Fear is irrational. It causes overcommitment. It causes delayed decisions. Haaland's presence creates fear not through intimidation, but through inevitability. Defenders know what is coming. They simply cannot stop it consistently. Comparisons often fail because they focus on aesthetics. Haaland is not Messi. He is not Ronaldo. He is not Kane. But his influence belongs in the same conversation. Messi controlled games through possession gravity. Ronaldo through volume and aerial dominance. Haaland controls games through spatial consequence. His positioning alters expected outcomes. When Haaland is on the pitch, defensive error tolerance decreases. Midfield creativity becomes safer. Counterpressing gains leverage. These effects persist even in matches where he scores once or not at all. Dominance is not always loud. Sometimes it is structural. Pressure matches compress football. There's less space, fewer chances, higher stakes. This environment favors players who do not require rhythm. Haaland does not need multiple touches to settle. He does not need flow. He needs one moment. This is why he remains dangerous in finals, knockout ties, matches where control outweighs creativity. While others struggle to impose themselves, Haaland waits. And waiting is not passive. It is predatory. Teams that overcommit to stopping Haaland expose themselves elsewhere. This is the paradox. Double mark him, and you concede midfield superiority. You stretch defensive spacing. You weaken second ball coverage. Ignore him, and you risk immediate punishment. There is no optimal solution, only damage limitation. That is the definition of inevitability. Some players shrink under expectation. Haaland operates as if expectation clarifies his role. His body language remains constant. His movement remains precise. His decision-making remains economical. This consistency under scrutiny is not accidental. It is trained. Pressure becomes a stabilizing force rather than a disruptor.